Right, this is the tailstock on our little lathe. It's a Hafco Metal Master, a model AL335, and I've decided it'd be a good idea to put a DRO on the quill, on the tailstock here. So it comes with a little bracket, so I've bent the bracket at an angle that I reckon looks okay. I've marked out the bolt hole here, so I think that's not a bad angle to read it on. And with 10mm sitting at the front here, I have a bit of aluminium plate that I can make a clamp out of. So what the idea is, I've marked out a little cross up on the piece of aluminium here. We're going to bore a hole in there so it sits around here somewhere. We're going to slot it, put a clamping bolt on it, sit it back up in here, and then we're going to mark the angle that this needs to go on, and then cut that and tidy up the corners and all. So there's a bit of milling in it. Yeah, we could do the boring in the lathe, but I think because we'll be playing over on the mill, we'll work over there and see how we go. So the job will be to drill through here, tap a thread in with something to hold this in place, and then make this plate adapt to it. So stay tuned, we'll try and get everything set up and then we'll come back. Now this is a little laser pointer I have, and yes, you can see the laser, and it's a tool I've had for ages. I don't use it often, but what I'm doing here with it, oh, that's just about perfect. I'll try and find and I have a little mark scratched on the. You can change the focus of how bright or how dull it is. I have a little mark. I'll just bring him out a bit. Oh yes. I don't know, can you see how fine that gets? Not if I put my big mitten away, can you? When you turn that, that's the broad one. That's a very fine dot. So I need to go in a bit and just across a bit, and I believe we're pretty good. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to lock the tables, both axes, was that what they say? Anyway, we're going to lock the X and the Y axis. Look, I think we'll just go nice and slow. And I don't think we'll do any damage by going slow. I might try the other slow. Okay, we'll keep the coolant up to it. I could even actually spurt it down the hose here. Look at that, fits nice and tightly. Alright, we'll lower this down a bit. And I'll just wind it down. Try and keep my arm out of the way, and we'll just wind him down gently. Oh, that's nice. just stop it so I can clear this out a little bit. That hole is looking just beautiful. The coolant's coming through. The little aerosol nozzle fits nicely into the hose, so the coolant's coming through as we go. Not that you'd need much going slow, but anyway. Popped out the bottom. We'll get this swath away. Well, look, I see why Bruce uses them. They are just lovely. I'll get this piece out and see if I can show you the hole. It's a lovely finish. Aluminium's only soft too, but that's a good finish. We might try and stay in focus, Lance. That'd be a bloody good start. But look, that's a lovely finish. So we'll go and try that on the quill. We still have to split this one place or the other. I thought down the bottom and put a screw in, a countersunk Allen head screw in, so we can just tighten that up where we like it. But we'll go and try it on the quill. Well, here we are with our little piece of aluminium, straight off the annular cutter, or broach, or depends where you live, I suppose. Look at that. There's enough drag there, it almost holds its own weight, but that's a lovely fit. Looks like eBay's going to be selling some cutters. Okay, we still have a bit more work to do that little bracket yet. So we'll mark it out on the mill where we're going to put a slitting saw, and then we'll probably drill it first, drill it down and put a countersunk for an Allen screw, and we'll get a bit all technical. Follow you over there. Look, while we're back over here, look at that little slug. Beautiful. That just looks handy. Looks handy like a little cap you could put on something, or yeah, lovely little round piece of stuff, piece of aluminium. It looks like it's something already half made, but yeah, lovely finish. I am impressed with that and wagging my tail. Right, the head of this Allen screw here, even though it's metric, it's about 200 thou. So I'll probably drop it down in a little bit further just so we have plenty of room or plenty of thread down the bottom end, so it's nice and strong. We'll get a bit of possum pea on there. Okay, we zero the top DRO once more. We'll go around 300 thou. That wasn't the best. Might be time for a clean out. A little bit more lube and we'll have another go. 230, 40, 50. There's 300 out there. Well, we have a 1-inch line in here, and the slitting saw is set up eyeballed in with that, and it's a bit cluttered here, and I was hoping to use an extended number 3 Morse cutter that I'd made. That was the first Morse taper I'd ever made. I'll scan out a bit so you can see. That was the first cutter I'd ever made. I set it up in the mill and in the lathe, and I traced off a drill and got it through. And look, it works okay. And because I had that, I thought, hey, that's a go. I should try cutting a gear. So I jumped on eBay and found a second-hand gear cutter, an involute gear cutter. So I grabbed that, and I've just dropped it on the floor, so I better pick it up again. And so yeah, I bought an involute gear cutter, had no clue what I was buying. I thought I'll just get some chips on the ground and we'll work that out later. I had no clue. I was just hopping in, having a go. So so I made this little cutter and got him all trued up, and it runs pretty true. And I was hoping to use that for this, but because my cutter's so thin, I actually haven't made up any spaces for it. So that'd be a reasonable job to do coming up, make a couple of spaces. So we'll do that. But in the meantime, that's my first gear I ever cut. Now, like I say, I had no clue what I was doing. It come out okay, but when I look at it nowadays, I didn't have my height right. I can see my tooth there is just not 100%. But anyway, I keep that just to remind me to read up and do everything right. I've cut quite a few gears since, but that was my first one, so I'll keep that. I was proud of that. I showed everyone that had come in the shed there for weeks after doing that one. Bloody show off, eh? Anyway, look, enough of that talking. We'll get this cutter going, nice and steady, and we'll just give ourselves a bit of a groove, a clamping groove. The slitting saw's got a bit of a whoop in it, isn't it? Not to worry. Well, we've got it sitting in the vise, and we're coming up from the other end here. Now, I don't know if you've ever got one of them. That was one of the first jobs I ever made when I got the milling machine. I made a hex tap guide. Looks a bit grubby, doesn't it? But yeah, look, all that does is when you want to tap a hole straight and you want to do it by hand for one reason or another, you sit that there and just hold it down, and that keeps this tap up the top here pretty straight. Need to tighten this up a little bit. So once you get it started like that, the little tap guide can go away, and that doesn't have to fit exactly, but as long as it's close enough. Now it should start nice and easy, and just follow the hole. I've got no idea what I did with that screw. I've actually gone and got another one out of my my little hardware box, so who knows, I'll probably trip over it one day. We'll put a bit of lube on. That's always good. And we have quite a bit of thread there, so that's feeling okay. Now we'll take it right into its limit and just see what that feels like. I'll say it's a pretty poor video if I can't drop something. Oh, you can see the gap closing and opening, so that's nice. Alright, let's go to the tailstock and see if it fits. So that's a nice fit there. And then there's no moving that even if I wanted to. So look, that's a good thing. So now what we need to do is drill and tap this here, and then scribe a line to where this bracket would go on the angle, and at the end of there we can taper this down there then and take away sharp edges and things like that, give it a bit of a polish up. So the sharp edge down here is fine. I've made it so when you have a centre or something like that in it, it ejects before we get way back. And I've tried just about everything I have. Yep, that one's ejected, so I think we're okay. I might just hand drill this and tap it while we're going, and we'll put a scribe line under here, and that'll get us very close to where we need to be. Okay, I've started drilling the hole here for the retaining screw. And that's buckets. So we'll go and get a little hand tap and we'll tap a thread. Alright, we've tidied it all up. We actually need to wind this handle and wind it away from us a little bit. We'll pop a small Allen headed screw, 5x0.8 with lots of thread. I hope it's not too long. And we just need to straighten that up a little. We have a nice run through there. So if we put this out a bit further, I'll come back into frame if I can, just because I know you want to have a look. That's the 100mm travel we have. So we have plenty up our sleeve here. We could dock a bit of that off if we thought it would get in the road. But I had a look earlier and I didn't think it would. I'll just roll that. Now when we drill, it'll want to kick this way, won't it, as it turns the drill. So if we already kick it that way, that would give us a reasonable indication of where we need it to be. Alright, that's going to be okay. Now I just need to scribe a line. And that should give us a indication of where we need to be. Now I'll bring one down at the end of this bracket if I can hold the bracket in place, and another one down here. So we should be able to see a little bit of a mark here, mark there, there's our line. That's looking good to me. Alright, now we'll go and cut her off. You can't see that, can you? Me looking at that thinking I'm doing a wonderful job, and you can't see a bloody thing. There you go, there's your line. The start and the stop and the line. So we need to come in somewhere near that. Okay, we've got a couple of angles down here just to tie a few things in and neaten it all up a bit. So we're just going to set the ruler across the line, clamp him down, and away we go. And it sounds like it's going to just pour raining in a minute. Big drops on the roof. Okay, there's a bit of noise up above at the moment. We're having a shower of rain, but I'd like to keep going with the job, so I'll just crank this baby up a bit so she's got a few revs under her belt. Bit of possum pea. Okay, that looks like it's about right. We'll go and have a little bit of a test run. We need to do a bit of a test run and a deburr and see how we go with it all.